I think one of the most underrated aspects of ranking up in Overwatch is reviewing your own gameplay. When you watch your own gameplay back, you're able to see the mistakes you make and think about how you would prevent them in the future. And it's easy to play a game and think about, oh, I made this mistake, I shouldn't do that again. But it's a lot more beneficial for yourself to look at the game afterwards when you're not sort of focused on actively winning. It allows you to sort of recognize what you're doing wrong as well as how to play better. It also gives you a good standpoint of what you're doing good at and what's contributing to you winning fights versus what's kind of stopping you and holding you back from winning fights. I'm gonna sort of explain my process of how I VOD review myself. I play a variety of heroes, but I mostly rotate through Kiriko, Juno, Ana, and Lucio. The first game I want to look at is on Saravasa, where I played Kiriko, and this game I was duoed with my tank, so I had communication with him.
I'm going. Oh my!
Whenever you go into a VOD review, you kind of want to have an idea of what you're looking for, so that way when you see yourself do it, you can kind of recognize it as being either good or bad, and sort of understand why what you did was either wrong or right. For Kiriko, I'm currently focusing on 3 main things, which is 1, positioning. On Kiriko, I want to take aggressive positioning that's going to result in either kills or expending utility from the enemies, but also in range of TP from my teammates, so I'm able to get out if anything goes wrong. I also want to focus on my healing to damage ratio, as sometimes I will focus in on one over the other, and accidentally focus in on DPSing leaves my team vulnerable without a support, and focusing too much on healing takes away one of Kiri's main strengths with the amount of damage that she's able to do, and the amount of movement and escaping abilities that she has. I also want to focus in on the way that I take fights, as I often find that I'm too hesitant to approach enemies, or sometimes I sort of panic and throw myself into really reckless situations. Initially into the fight, I decided to take a position on point and we end up losing our Cassidy. On this map, I generally like taking a position on point early because Kiriko's mobility allows me to sort of move wherever I want. The point also provides a good amount of cover with this wall in the middle, and if we're able to get to point first, it creates an area where we can hold off the enemies pretty well. The Cassidy starts shooting at me from an off angle, and I don't take any hard engagements with him because it's a lot more reliable for him to kill me from that distance than it is for me to kill him. So I shoot at him, but I mostly try to play around cover, and my tank ends up scaring him away. I also take the opportunity to play around point so I'm able to capture it when unlocks, and while I could go for a flank to try and get a pick, I think playing with my team here to make sure we capture point is a bit stronger. My Genji gets a little aggressive here, tries to kill the Zenyatta, but he's behind a wall and I'm unable to heal him. I think here I have the opportunity to help Genji by coming out of this window to heal him, maybe even throw a cleanse, and that would help him secure the kill on Zenyatta, but definitely keep him alive longer. And then I can use Kiriko's wall climbing to easily walk back up to where I was. So I think I should have been better prepared to help Genji out in that situation. Instead, I stayed on point with the tank, and we end up losing this fight because of that. I think here I get a little bit too aggressive. I was going to touch the point before they were able to full cap it, but I was a bit too slow. Doing that anyways would have been a death sentence because I was right in Sigma's face. I also noticed the Cassidy behind us and tried to take cover around the pillar while also warning my tank and trying to hit a shot on him so he'll back off. Cassidy backs off to point, so I take this as an opportunity to flank and go in for a kill. Due to the kill, I was able to give my team an advantage and draw the attention of their tracer, which allowed my team to push forward and push the enemy team off of the point. When you play with Kiriko, it's especially important to sort of cause a distraction for the backline. It opens up a lot of space for your teammates, and it doesn't cause a lot of risk for you because you're able to TP back to them if anything goes wrong. This is a small thing, but I could have taken the opportunity to be a bit more aggressive here by again jumping out this window to shoot Sigma from behind. It makes the kill on him a bit faster, especially when we have his supports back here who are being distracted by our Genji. I instead decide to capture point and heal my tank, which I could have left Soldier to do. This sort of snowballs into Lifeweaver being able to ult, keeping Sigma alive. Sigma is able to ult, takes out our Mercy, but if I had instead pushed behind Sigma and done damage, it's very likely he would have been dead by now and unable to do that. We don't immediately lose the fight, but losing Mercy and their team being able to regroup before Sigma dies makes it very hard for us to hold on to the point. From there, we essentially end up unable to recap the point. Our Genji ends up ulting completely by himself and gets shut down. Mercy's able to last second touch the point, I TP to her, pop my ult, but it's not really enough to help us win the fight with how down we were. And we end up losing that first point. They have a pretty rough time trying to attack the next point as they get there first, and our team really struggles to push in. Their DPS also did a good job of attacking our backline. so my team was mostly half HP before we were able to even push into point. Sigma pops his ultimate and we end up going down after they cap point. This is where my duo and I sort of start looking in. We recognize Lifeweaver is their main source of healing. Lifeweaver needs to be our first target within these fights because he provides the most healing. If you take him out, it's pretty easy to kill the rest of the team because Zenyatta's healing is slow and he can only heal one person at a time. My queen enters with her ult, which counters their Lifeweaver tree. Lifeweaver is dead off rip. The fight was pretty easy to win after they were anti-ed and we took out their main source of healing. I decide next fight to play on point with my team so we're able to use my ult together. It ends up however being immediately countered by Sigma, which I think he saved his ult almost every time to counter mine. And they end up using 3 ultimates this fight to try and take point back. That Tracer had good timing with her pulse bomb. If she didn't miss it, we would have been screwed because I would just use my cleanse and I would have not survived that. The Cassidy pops ult to scare us off a point. While I'm hiding from their Cassidy, I turn around and realize my Genji is low-key being jumped by both of their supports, so I turn around to help him out. We end up able to get Zenyatta. I whiff a couple shots and then I TP back to point to help my team who really needs some healing. Unfortunately, the cleanse was a little too late, Genji goes down, but I am able to kill the Lifeweaver and then we take out Sigma. Tracer triggers overtime, but their re-attack feels very disorganized. Zenyatta entered point before the tank for some reason, so it's kind of easy to take them out, and then our Genji also popped ult just to make sure we secure the point. The next point we ended getting to first, which gives us a strong positioning. I like playing around this high ground area, because it gives you a large view of healing your teammates, doing some damage. If someone starts shooting you, you can back into cover pretty easily. This is also a good place to throw Kitsune off of because you can cover pretty much the entire point with it. There's also this area where I'm able to push up and do some damage on their squishies before TPing back to my team. I noticed there was Zenyatta shooting at me, so I immediately swapped to shooting at him. I whiffed several shots and struggled to kill him. He was getting healing. I don't know if it was from the tree or if a Lifeweaver was pocketing him. He also was kicking me and I realized he was trying to kick me off the map, so I just TP out of there. I mostly just play in the corner out of LOS, then there Cassidy pops ult. I'm staring him down in the face and then I cleanse it. Which one thing I'm working on especially is my cleansing timing because I do miss it on an embarrassing amount of ultimates. Stand next to me, I got this.
What?
Next fight, their Sigma enters with his ultimate, which is really a bad idea because we still have the resources to counter him. If you're ever using any hero's ult, make sure whatever resources counter your ult are already used and on cooldown. Then my tank and I both have our ults and we're trying to decide which one to use. Queen ends up going first, gets stopped by Sigma's rock. I pop my Kiriko, but they have Trank, which makes us virtually unable to kill anyone. So we sort of have to play carefully here, make sure we're still doing damage, but also don't die. Don't push up too far. I mostly play with my team because I'm not trying to push into a Zenyatta ult. Also important with Kiri to shoot while you're healing, even if you're just shooting in someone's general direction, because I just accidentally killed the Zenyatta. I was not aiming for him at all. I don't know how that Cassidy had his ultimate again, I was not expecting that, but he puts himself in a really bad positioning for it, so we're able to take him out. Our Cassidy ults, we take out their Sigma, their team is forced to back up, and we end up just getting the point off of that. Walking to the next point was low-key a pain because our Echo stops to fight their team walking out of spawn and ends up dying. And that leads to the rest of our team just slowly going down to them, to the point where we're literally staggered trying to get back. My team kept walking in too soon, staggering, dying, so by the time we even fully regroup to recontest, they're already at 50%. My take ult's in, but it's countered with a carry cleanse. I decide to TP in with my tank as backup to help them kill the supports. I pop my ultimate, we get Moira, we get Kiriko, and my DPS and Mercy are able to get the tank, and we're finally able to cap point. On the recontention, their Sojourn pops ult, but it's countered by our Cassidy's ult. Their Moira pops ult to keep the Sojourn alive, but it's too late, and so tries to kill our Cassidy with it, and then their team sort of crumbles from there. I play on point as a way to mostly support my DPS and keep cover. The monkey pops Primal, and he chases after me, but my team comes with me, so we're able to kill him. We do, however, lose point, and we can't recontest it because their Cassidy is in high noon. So we wait it out, they get point, and then we decide to go back in. This is a spot where I think my positioning and my thought process gets a bit odd, and I definitely shouldn't have played like this. I'm shooting Cassidy, he's shooting me. He can reliably kill me a lot faster than I can kill him, because it's easier to hit scan shots from this distance than for me to headshot him twice with my kunai. If I TP'd to my Cassidy over here, I would have been able to heal him as well as have a better vantage point on killing this Cassidy, and it also gives me this corner to play around as cover. Instead, I'm stuck up here where Cassidy has very clear sight lines of me, not playing around cover, not playing around the cover of this door or this health pack that's right here. There's also a Moira orb that did quite a bit of damage to me, and I end up just fully peeking out of the wall below half HP, and their surgeon's able to kill me. It was really stupid. I should have played for the cover and the health pack, or for my Cassidy, and I probably wouldn't have died there. However, we have a Mercy on our team. If she has res, it doesn't matter because I'm back. I'm in the fight. We're here for overtime. But that was definitely stupid the way I died. I just go for keeping my team up, shooting at whoever they're shooting, and we're able to win the game from there. I think definitely looking back, I had a lot of really good moments in this game. I took a couple of aggressive angles that allowed me to get kills and open up space for my team. I also had not so good plays. I think the timing of my ultimate during this fight could have been a bit better as well. I also think I should look for more opportunities to do damage on off angles. This game I spent a bit too much time playing behind my team, and there were just a few fights where I think having that damage coming from an off angle would have really helped us win a lot more coherently than the way that we played it. I think it's also important to point out that several of these fights were won because their team made a mistake, which is definitely something that comes into factor a lot when you're playing competitive games. Overall, I think I've seen a lot of improvement in my gameplay, but I definitely do need to work on off-angling. So if you made it to the end, this VOD review did a pretty good job of showing me several mistakes that I made, but also showing me some improvements that I've made from previous VOD reviews. I'm still learning Kiriko a bit because I haven't consistently played her in previous seasons. But this VOD review definitely showed me several things that I need to work on and several things that I'm definitely getting better at. The cleanse with the ultimate was pretty good. I think my TP decision making is getting a bit better, as in the past I've definitely overcommitted to 1v1s. I also think my aggressive positioning here is pretty good, but I need to look for more opportunities to take it. This VOD review basically gave me an idea of what I'm improving on and what I need to continue to work on in my next comp games. You don't need to dedicate too much time to your VOD reviews, but I think every couple games that you play, especially one where you notice a lot of mistakes, it's important to go back and look at them and see why something went wrong. It provides a lot of clarity and a list of things that you can improve on for your next games. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will definitely be sure to answer those. Also let me know if you want me to show more of my VOD reviews in the future, because I kind of like making these videos.